No experience necessary.
No experience. You got a lot of that.
All right, good morning, guys. So it is Saturday. Spent some time this past week going through the truck again. Ended up replacing quite a few rivets inside the cab. There was some stuff that bolts had shaken loose and things, so went and tightened up bolts and put bolts in some new places there to secure a few things. Especially inside the doors. The doors of this truck, they actually spent a lot of time into these doors. They didn't just gut the door, so it's got some internal framing and storage and stuff inside those doors, but all of that had kind of shaken loose and everything, so did some stuff to secure that. Went through, you know, this is my first time with a four-wheel race vehicle, and certainly one of this caliber requires a lot of attention. So spent a lot of time this week also putting together parts lists with part numbers and truck maintenance list and pre-race checklist, so that we can go through and just keep track of the truck from race to race, make sure everything's fine. But today we're on our way out to Dell, Utah, which is halfway between Salt Lake City and Wendover. And I've got a 38-mile loop and a 90-mile loop out there today. We're just going to run the 38-mile loop. Don't have a ton of support out there today, so I'd rather be 10 miles away from the truck as the crow flies, as opposed to 40 miles away from the truck as the crow flies. If something happens to the truck, I don't anticipate anything going down. I have been a little bit skeptical about the oil pressure. I don't know if I mentioned that before. I've only got 25 pounds of oil pressure, and you know, I've had a Corvette Z06 that's got a pretty good build on it. I've had that for about 5 years, and I'm used to seeing 55 to 75 pounds of oil pressure, at least out of that motor, which is also an LS block, same as this truck. So the truck's been sitting around 25 PSI. I don't like that. Maruzzi said that they wouldn't be too concerned about it just because it's got the oil coolers on there, but I think it might be slightly underfilled. So we're gonna check that once we get out there and warm up the truck. Check the dipstick and just see if we've got enough oil in there. See if that oil pressure comes up at all. When that oil gets hot, which it got pretty hot last time we drove it, which also makes me think that it's low on volume, you know, it thins up and oil pressure can drop. So I don't want anything lower than, I don't even like 25, but I definitely don't want to go lower than 25. So anyway, we'll fuel up here at the Maverick. Always got to stop at the Maverick and go out and rip this bad girl. So we just got done with the Wendover shakedown run. had some issues with navigation. That was my fault. The loop, one of the turns that I had on the loop puts us into like a little motocross track type deal, and so I went past it to where I thought the turn was, and we just got off course, so Spencer didn't have any reference onto what corners were coming up and how tight they were and such, so we were flying blind for a little bit out there. And then we got going up the canyon and coming back down the canyon, ran into those bikers coming down the canyon. That was kind of scary that somebody's out on their mountain bike that far away from anything. So we went pretty slow through coming down through the canyon, hit a big rock, we only hit one really big rock, and I can't tell that it did any damage, like none of the tie rods or anything are bent, but my steering wheel did go off center, about 30 degrees to the left, so I got to figure out what caused that, if it's just a slip in the steering linkage, because like I said, it doesn't look like a tie rod or anything, but we're gonna have to get that sorted before the race that we do next month. So still lots of work to do, still very novice at this, driving the truck. There were some spots where I felt good. I think if I was to get new tires on this, which I talked to Jonesy, the guy that I bought it from, the date code on these tires is way old. They're super hard, they're worn out, they're just sliding everywhere, and they really don't hook up that well. So we need to get new tires on the truck before we race it if we really want to see how well we stack up. But other than that, nobody's hurt, nothing major broken, so I'd say successful. All right, guys, I'll catch up with you when we do some tear down and go through the truck and find out everything that needs to be fixed and tidied up.
Dadgummit, blowout!